Hey, it's Barbara Ireland, and you will not believe what just happened a few moments ago. This is such a lesson in awareness and looping and all sorts of things. I was just coming back from a walk, and I was looping on something. And I was sick of the looping, and I'm like, okay, I gotta de-loop this issue that's going over and over in my head. And I said, how, there's the 4 steps that I talk about in my book about de-looping. So I caught the loop. That's number 1, detect it. The second one was detach it, calling it a loop or whatever. I did that. The third one is what got me. That one is detour. And that is when you consciously choose something else to think about. There are a lot of detours that a person can consciously choose. But if we don't consciously choose them and we ask to have it detoured, sometimes the forces of nature step in to make sure that we get our minds back in the present and thinking about something else. So guess what happens? I'm on a dock. I'm out here on a dock. And I drop all my keys in the freaking lake. Yeah, I dropped my car keys, my house keys, my mailbox keys, whatever, all into the lake. I'm like, oh no. Okay, thank God that where I dropped them was not in a super deep area, but I still had to figure out a way to get down off the dock and into the amount of water that was there, which was plenty, just not over my head. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God a friend appeared. And I started hysterically laughing, and she was too. We found a step ladder. And while laughing, we slowly somehow get it down into the lake floor, and it's of course rocky and bumpy and it's shaking all around. Then all these waves started coming in from a power boat and it's moving the ladder all over the place. I'm like, oh, please don't move my keys. And so then we rigged up this hose for her to hold while I was crawling down to get onto the ladder. And halfway down, I started it, but we had a laughing attack. While I was halfway down off this dock. Oh my God. So anyway, I got on the ladder. It was stable enough. And I went down. I got into the water, went up, to my thighs. And then I reached down and went way up here. And I got my keys. I got my keys back. I retrieved them. I fished them out like the Pisces that I am. And guess what happened? Not only did I get my keys back, and I got a great laughing attack with my friend, and felt like, hey, we did something bizarre and kind of ingenious today, figuring out how to get these keys back. But the best part is I'm not looping anymore. I detoured big time, like really detoured. And so, what I have to tell you, one other time that I asked for the universe to help me detour on a loop was when I was bike riding on a bike trail, thank God. And I slowed down to pet a sweet puppy that I saw a couple walking by with. And this big, giant guy with a bike went kabam on behind me. We both crashed over, and I had a total bike accident. Thank God I wasn't harmed, and he wasn't either. Talk about being detoured from a loop. Like the last thing that was on my mind anymore was this negative thought, or it was a worry as usual, that was going over and over in my head. So, okay, be careful when you ask for the universe's help in detouring from a loop. See if you can figure out how to detour it on your own. Moral lesson number 1. Moral lesson number 2, this is actually number 1. This is what counts the most. To be aware, to be present. I was I was so in my head. That's what the looping does. It takes us out of the present, puts us here instead of onto this gorgeous day out by a freaking lake. And to the point where I fumbled with my keys right over the water. Okay. Or they kind of flew. You know how these things happen. Okay, so be aware, be present. Ask for help in detouring off a loop, but just, be aware something strange might happen. Luckily, neither time nothing bad happened, the keys and the bike, but they're odd. Let's say they're odd experiences. And then 3, let's talk about some other detours that you can do. Okay, so you want to detect the loop, catch it before it gets too much momentum going, okay? Second, call it what it is. This is a loop. This is a looping worry. This is a negative thought, whatever it is. Name it. This is a mind loop. 3, detour. On your own, hopefully. Detour. There's so many ways. Put on some music. Go skipping in the neighborhood. You could run too, but skipping is more fun. You could call up a friend to laugh about something, not to talk about the loop. You could read an amazing book. You could watch an inspiring YouTube video. You could listen to a podcast. You could play ping pong. You could, there's a gazillion things. Physical things help a lot, by the way, and podcasts for me help a lot. Inspiring, listening to something inspiring on a different emotional, intellectual level than this old, worn out loop that I'm replaying over in my head. Okay, something a little higher energy would be nice. Yeah, so any of those things really work. And gratitude. Getting into gratitude really helps. Another amazing way is saying, I know I don't want to loop. I know I do want to refocus my thoughts on XYZ. I know I don't want to think anymore about this issue. I know I do want to think now about this, to refocus. That little bit really helps too. And if you're having a negative thought looping about how bad you are, how stupid you are, how fat you are, all the mean things some part of our weird minds likes to say about us, give it the opposite. Hey, I may not be perfect, but I'm not dumb. I'm not fat. I'm not whatever the other thing is I said, bad. I am a work in progress, and I'm really great in all these areas, and I love myself, who I am, as I am, right now, because what else is there? We're all a work in progress. Who said there is anything about perfection? There isn't. That doesn't exist. Maybe you've heard the word progress, not perfection. Are you in progress? Then you're perfect. If you're even watching this video, it means you are in progress. If you're working to catch these thoughts, if you're working to love yourself more, you are in progress. And that makes you perfect. You get that? Perfect right now. So put that in your looping head. How's that? All right, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to my weird story. I'm going to give you a glimpse of the lake, but hope to God I don't drop my laptop while I do this. Bye.